Yeah, thanks all for joining. So, yeah, I will be talking about circles. Circles is a quite big and radical idea, and it tries to question, well, how does money work, and can we create a better version of money? And again, my personal background story, I would say, is I got excited 12 years about the crypto space, and basically back then it was 13 years now, 14 years. Basically back then it was only Bitcoin. Bitcoin was the only thing that existed. And I got excited, decentralized money or no central kind of power thing that might get corrupted and so on. And yeah, was a Bitcoin maxi, I guess, at the time. But at some point, I started to question, and of course, kind of I was running around and telling everyone of Bitcoin and so on. But at some point I questioned, would actually the world benefit from moving to Bitcoin? And it's very clear I would benefit, and I did benefit from Bitcoin price going up and so on. But yeah, it's less clear today still. I mean, I think back then, 14, 15 years ago, it was 0.001% of the people in the world maybe hold Bitcoin, and now we are maybe up to 1 or maybe 2%. But still, 99, 98 don't hold Bitcoin. And again, it's not clear to me that for those it would be beneficial because primarily it would be a massive wealth shift to those who are already in. So Circles tries to say, let's take the best of Bitcoin, the decentralization aspect, but try to be radically fair, kind of in its distribution. So again, the very simple rules of Circles are everyone who's a participant in the network can issue Circles, all at the same rate, and all at the rate of 1 per hour. That's kind of one force. The next force is, so constantly new Circles are created, and how many depends on how many people are in the system. At the same time, there's this second force, this of losing or burning Circles, and that's the 7% demurrage. So all balances, wherever they all constantly lose, or they are reduced by at a rate of 7% per year. And then there is the whole thing around trust and the fact that in reality Circles is many currencies. So everyone has in a way their own, and just through the trust network, it's kind of becomes usable as a. But we'll go into this. So here, something I shouldn't go too close to the speaker, I guess. So here again, just an overview. Circles, quite a history. Ideas over 10 years old, but it really started in 2020. So almost now, also 5 years ago, when Circles version 1 launched. And just out of curiosity, how many have Circles 1 account with the Circles Garden? Cool. Yeah, so launched, went quite viral for at least a couple of weeks. Over 100,000 people signed up. But then we had some period where Circles was tried in various communities. So kind of this immediate larger online hype that quickly went down. But then in a couple of places, and Berlin was one of them, Circles was really tried, or kind of small groups, vendors, tried to transact with Circles. In Bali, there was a larger Circles experiment. But now we are essentially creating or have created a version 2.0, and actually at the last meetup here, kind of in this context, we celebrated the deployment of the new contracts. But since then we have been working on an app. So kind of having the contracts out there is one thing, but kind of no one is manually interacting with the contract. So right now we are, I want to show you a bunch of things that we have been building. And actually, while we are not sharing this link publicly, but if you want, you can right now open this on your phone, app.metri.xyz, and I will show a few things. And kind of later in the night, we can certainly play, or onboard in a way yourself. But just for so it's a continuation, Circles 2.0. So if you have an identity with Circles in the past, you will be able to import this into this new version. So Circles practically, user will go through those couple of steps. First, they need to get invited. They need to get trusted by one already existing Circles user, and that is, if we include the ones from version 1, that is roughly 100,000 people that have a Circles, 100,000 Circles account. So from one of them, you will need to get an invite. And after that, you can create Circles at a rate of one circle per hour for the rest of your life. But just in the flow of the app, you will, in the next step, require at least 3 trusts to be able to send Circles. And then that's a new thing we are introducing in Metri, or in the 2.0 version of Circles, that we actually try to make Circles tradable and really have it really feel much more like other currencies that you hold. And I will go into that in a second. Here, just how that looks, how that can look on your phone. So, well, obviously that's me. That's my Circles account. Here are the Circles I hold. Here are the trust connections I have. And here, kind of that's mutual trust. So, and this is kind of or just trusting in one direction or the other direction. And groups. Here you can already see this concept of that I have an overall Circles balance, in this case 11,900 something. But if I click on it, I can actually see under the hood I hold all kind of individual Circles from the people or the groups I trust. Berlin Full Node Group is a group. We are or just started now in this round here for this round, and you also be able to, if you want, can be able to join this group. But let's go back to the presentation. So one thing we are about to add, or we are adding, is this concept of what we call a decentralized Circles reserve. So ultimately, we need to ask why do Circles have value, or do they have value at all? And this very much depends on people individually. So kind of if someone individually says, okay, I'm offering something for my Circles, then just by saying, okay, I offer my labor, I offer some stuff for Circles, then that itself gives the Circles value. Of course, how money, of course, kind of just being at a very individual level, that's not, or ideally kind of, it's more than that. So ideally it's a network. So the value of my Circles is not only defined by what I'm offering, but also what the people are offering or doing that trust me and that essentially accept my Circles. So the value of an individual Circles is defined by what is the person offering for it, what are the people trusting that person offering for it, and potentially what are the groups that the person is a member of, what are those groups offering. But to add to this, we have a very simple concept of how you can, in a way, create a base value for your Circles. And that is something as simple as saying, I back my own Circles with at least some level of liquidity. And how this will very concretely look like is that in this flow, you will be able to decide, you can do this, you don't have to do this, you can decide to become a backer. And the backer would mean you need to take 100 USDC and in kind of in a way you can select the backing assets or whatever, if you prefer Bitcoin, Ether, interest earning, whatever. So you select the backing assets, but ultimately you are putting those 100 USDC into a pool, automated market maker, or very technically speaking, balancer, liquidity bootstrapping pool, but whatever. I mean, you are putting those $100 into a pool that is backing your very personal circles. And yeah, just to make this very visual. So here, it's just a tool where I can. This here's my own address, and those are the people I trust, and you can see that some of them, and this is so far still on a testing scale, but some of them have this backing, and you can see here this means there is a balancer pool that holds some circles and some reserve asset. So that means also that all the ones that do that also have a very concrete price. So for example here the circles of Theo, who's one of the lead developers of Metri, they currently have a price on this very balancer pool of 7 cents per circle. So under the hood there is essentially a lot going on in Metri. We are trying to abstract those things away as good as possible, but just to show you something again very concrete. So right now in Metri you will also be able to swap, to trade. So for example, I can either sell or buy circles, and let's just buy some circles. What happens here is that I can spend 10 euros, buy right now 94 circles, but just let's look quickly here at the groups. So here we will have I mean this is again super early, or we are setting those up right now, but right now there are a couple of groups. Even more test groups here. He is still from the last event, the first from the birthday. I have now selected this Berlin full node group as my primary group, and this essentially defines when I trade circles. The question is, what circles am I buying? So if I right now buy circles, then I would actually buy those full node circles. Let's do this. Under the hood, it's using CowSwap, but just to maybe get you an idea of what's happening. So now, and how prices are connected. So now, 1 second, where do I need to go? Circles, explore groups. I copy the group address here. I check this here. So So now I essentially increased that price a bit by buying those circles, and indirectly that should also have a price impact on all the members, because if the group currency is more in demand, then the member currencies are also more in demand. But I am afraid it gets too complicated for now. But let's keep it there. So going back to the slides. Oops, not share, present. Yeah, so we have the concept of backing, we have the concept of groups that form in a way their own currency unions. That's one way to describe it. Here are the list of primary groups or launch partners we are currently in discussion with, or that we will have for the start. But yeah, groups have basically a bunch of roles, so they are a way to find trust connections. They are a way to curate, to make decisions. Are those actually real people? And potentially they will also play a role in kind of getting a circuits economy going by saying there are some things that can be bought for those, essentially for those specific circles, for those group circles. Just a very high-level point more. Circles has this concept of trying to be radically fair. So in circles there is no owner of the protocol, or not someone who I don't know. I kind of, let's say, in WorldCoin model where they also say, okay, we want to get out to many people, but still, I mean, there was $100 million or even more investment, and of course the team and the investors, they got 30% of the whole thing. So kind of in circles that does not exist. So in circles, again, if you look at the contract, there's no fee, no owner, no whatsoever. So that in a way is, I think that's what makes circuits interesting, but it's also a challenge because you need for a protocol or for something to succeed, you need people to invest in it and work on it and spend on it. And I think in Bitcoin, of course, there was also no intrinsic fee or something, but of course in Bitcoin you had the speculative element where you had those early Bitcoin believers that really kind of invested in it and paid off for them very well. So in circles, we are trying to find this middle ground between, as I said, being fair and not having early supporters or early adopters benefit extremely more than kind of those coming later. But long story short, there will be a couple of fees that are built on a front end or on a application level to make sure that those incentives are there. And kind of just very roughly, we are currently thinking of those numbers that 75% of the circuits minted go to the user, and 25% are split between three sources. One, I would say just in general, wallets. So right now there is Metri as a wallet, but we absolutely want other wallets to exist. And so, basically the idea is a part goes to the wallet, a part goes to the person directly that invited you, who also paid a small fee, and a part goes to what we call the primary group. So the group you are a member of, and that where the group also makes sure that your circuits are hopefully in demand. Maybe we can quickly look at this because it's always nice to. So this is a graph explorer where I here put in the address of this full node group, basically this is just an explorer of the current circuits trust networks that already exists. Again, couple of hundred, I think probably 800 people right now. You can double click on those and expand the network. I did an experimental trust score algorithm that works similar to this PageRank algorithm where I guess most of you are familiar with this, how many incoming and outgoing connections you have and from whom and whatever, just something to play around with. And I think that's pretty much it for now. Yes. So summing it all up, lots of things still in motion, but we are getting very close to, yeah, I think to a 2.0 launch moment. And again, the new things that the new wallet will bring is that Circles will feel much more like just another currency. So Metri supports euros, sterling, dollars, and so on. It is integrated with your card, or there is a possibility to get this card where you can directly pay. So essentially, the step from receiving Circles and spending those Circles with a regular Visa card is all in one experience. And I leave it at this point. Thank you.